Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. And today is another milestone, a marker in this experience that we have in the paint. I have with me the greatest man I know and the most important man in my life. And I'm so grateful to have him. And he's been more of a blessing to me, probably than I'll ever be for him. But I want to introduce you to my namesake and like I said, the greatest man in my life. Raymond Cowles III. What's up, son? How are you?
Thanks, Dad. Thank you. And you always know how to put a smile on my face. I really appreciate that. And I try to be the best that I can be. And I'm glad you see that. And I'm glad you're proud. And I'm trying to keep building and keep making you even more proud than you already are. So that means a lot.
Well, you actually jumping ahead on some of the questions I was going to ask, but
I said
you
I answered the question
three
already.
of them, right? Three
Okay.
questions. You just took, but that's okay. And as I mentioned to you, this can't be an interview. This is a talk. We're just going to talk, and I'm gonna,
Yeah.
I want you to lay some stuff out because as I do, you work with young people, and you've got a platform that you're doing to help them. But I want to go back. I want to go way back,
Let's go back.
back
Let's go
back
back.
back in the day. I want to ask you a question about your inspiration because I know when I was 12, that's when I decided to start playing music. And the
Mhm.
question that was posed to me from my mom was, what do you want to do as an extra? And my brain just started running and racing to try to have a connection with my dad because it was the first thing that popped in my head. And I said, what did my dad do? Did he do anything? Did he, do music or anything? And she told me he played the saxophone. And it was like a
Mhm.
light went off in my head. And I was like, that's what I want to do because I wanted to feel connected to him. What was it when you were 6 years old that made you want to do basketball? And did you have this moment of knowing it was something that you were going to stick with and make real, or was it just fun for you when you decided that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't get that many questions. I get a lot of questions. I don't get that one so much. Um,
Yeah.
At first, it was just fun, you know.
Uh-huh.
I think it was fun because I was just bigger than everybody. I was taller, not big, but tall, skinnier than everybody. But and I used to like to just run around and just run around and play with the ball and play with my friends and try to do cool tricks with the basketball and anything that had to do with a team sport at that time when I was really young. I gravitated to it. And so it was all fun for me. It was all just, getting all the energy out that I had and just being around cool people coming together and making something work, even if it was, just kids on the team. Like I didn't realize now, but if I think back on it, I think that's what it was. It was just like we always try to figure out how to be better than the other team. And, you had all these pieces and you're trying to put it together, and it's a huge puzzle of people and psychology and emotions and feelings and power. And I think that I just loved it so much and I got so much from it. And I was so excited to be able to just have those moments with those kids, like even if I was never going to see them again. So
Mm.
I think that's what kind of made me gravitate towards it. I didn't really learn it about it until later that I knew that I wanted to do it. So and I don't want to get into another answer, but like
Right.
once I knew that like I was gonna play basketball, it was I believe I was in just before I hit eighth grade. So I can't even remember what age that is, but it was just before I hit eighth grade, and it was like I'm really good, And I was thinking about playing varsity before eighth grade, and I had been going travel tournaments and doing everything. And that's when I knew I was like, this is the sport. I don't want to play any other sport. I had played a couple of other sports. I had played baseball and I got clocked in the eye and I was like, nope, I'm done. Tried to play hockey a little bit. I fell on the ice, bust my cheek, and I was like, nope, I'm done. But the reason why I was done, the reason
Yeah.
why I was done was because it wasn't so fact that I got hurt. It was the fact that I got hurt and I got to not play basketball. So once I realized that, that's when I was like, okay, this is my sport. This is what I got to do.
Hmm. Powerful, man. We learn things when we're young and we have these experiences because I had the same experience. I played football. It was
Hmm.
like popcorn or whatever. And I hyperextended my knee. I was like, took, y'all take this. I gave him all the equipment. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. And I said, I can't be getting hurt like this. And music was always on the horizon because I was still playing music. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just stick with the music. And
Hmm.
your body will teach you. And pain is a motivator, but pain will
Yeah.
teach you some things, man. So I get it about that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, you are amazing as far as your intelligent level. Even at an early age, the way you were able to understand things, the way you were able to feel like the shoes of someone who was advanced beyond your years. I've always been admired and at awe about how you grasp things so quickly and you apply yourself and you listen. Oh my God, that's so important. So let's move on to the next one. Now that you already actually went into a little bit of it. But
Okay.
when you went to college and you decided that you would go to Santa Clara, California,
Hmm.
we moved you to Minneapolis. That's where you grew up. You went to school. You're a star over there and everything. And if you feel like talking about that, feel free. I'm going to let you have free
Okay.
reign as far as that. But when you decided that you would go to California, how challenging was that to be in a whole nother state, a whole nother culture, and then still stay focused on what you were doing? Because California, I know California is crazy. It can be
Yeah.
really crazy. A lot on the table, a lot to choose
Yeah.
from, a lot of distractions. How challenging was that for you?
Yeah, that was I think the thing is it was extremely challenging. Like I'm not gonna downplay it. Like, you know,
Mhm.
I don't know how many miles away from home, probably 2,000, maybe more miles away. And,
Long way.
I was pretty much by myself. I knew my assistant coach from earlier. He went to my high school, so that was kind of a, place I could be safe in. But the challenges of just finding everything new. Like, let's say, like, I was a gym rat in high school. I stayed in the gym. I didn't really party that much. I didn't really get outside that much. I was in the gym. I did my homework because my goal was to get to college. And okay, yes, I did
Mhm.
occasional like one or two like house parties throughout the time, or like, go out. Maybe I would stay out a little bit later than I should, just trying to hang out because I never did. So when I got to college
Mhm.
and I had all this freedom and I had the palm trees and I had the fresh cut grass that looked better than the magazines, it was like, okay, what do I do now? And I was at a place, all teenagers get to that place where they feel too big for their surroundings. When I was 18, I was larger than life, and I talk about it and I'm not exaggerating. I was the man. Like I walked into any gym and any high school gym, any professional gym, people knew who I was at an early age. So let's say if we're talking about NIL deals now, I probably could have got $1 million, $2 million NIL contract. Uh, so that's what I was coming from. And I was just too big. And I was like, all right, I'm growing up. I need to spread my wings. I need to go see some more stuff. But as much as you're ready for that, when you get into it, it's a whole nother beast, like you said, like, and that's why probably why you asked the question, because you have to find yourself very quickly. And I was lucky that, you said it before, like I was a little bit mature for my age. I knew what I wanted. I knew how to set my goals. So I was lucky that I had that foundation of working, because otherwise I might not have made it past college. There was parties, there
Mhm.
was girls, there was drinking, there's smoking, oh, we got a car now. Oh, wait a minute. You mean I don't have to call my mom and ask her like, oh yeah, we're going down to LA. Oh yeah, this, boom, 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 boom. After the first 2 weeks, you could be done. You know? So there's all this
Pack it up.
going on.
Yeah.
All this going on. And then the last thing is the peer pressure. Uh this is where the peer pressure and your sense of self has to come into play. If you go into college and you don't have a sense of yourself, and you don't have a sense of a direction that you want to go to, there's all kinds of different ways that the wind blows. You know, there's frats, there's you know, people that's on drugs, people that's only at school to party. There's nerds that only go to school just to go to school. There's people that have their goals and their focus, and everybody's trying to find a place that they belong. So you can end up somewhere where, let's say, it's not a bad thing. Like if I wanted to be a nerd, it wouldn't be bad, but maybe that's not where I fit in. And so you got all of these different dynamics, and people don't talk about it enough. And you got to navigate through that. So it's one of the most, there's a reason why they call it one of the best experiences of your life. Like that everybody should go to college because if you can make it through college, you can hypothetically make it in life. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was no small task. So then let's say like to answer the question, how to be able to navigate that. Like I said, I had a strong already like moral compass. I knew what I wanted. And at this point, I was already kind of a superstar. So I wanted to heighten that superstar level, still with the framework in mind that I still need to do my grades. I'm here to get an education, but I'm trying to go to the NBA. I'm trying to get paid. And that's what it was. And I'm trying to pay the whole family. That was my groundbreaking goal. And anytime I strayed away, I went this way or I went that way, that's what ultimately brought me back to where I needed to be so I can perform and so that I can get my schoolwork done, so that I can say no to that party or say no to, these girls over here and this and this and this, say no to those drugs over there. That's what got me back to that place.
Mm. That's everything because when we're in places of temptation that can lure us away from our dream, it's a beast, from my own experience,
Mhm.
yielding to it and wanting to experiment with it and having it almost kill me, take my life. And I'm so
Mhm.
grateful that it did not, that at some point I had to reach out for help, got the help, changed everything literally, and realized that even though my experience I felt like was dangerous and daunting, it was there to serve as me being able to help other people now, because if they get in that position, I can talk from a place of walking through. But so many people
Yep.
don't make it, and I would not recommend it to anyone. Don't learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Because you're a great example of what it can be like to see it and have it all in your face, but making the choice to go the other route and then have it be successful. So many people
Hmm.
choose drugs because they feel like they don't have they don't have hope in that dream. They've lost the hope. It's not going to happen. So they choose that, or they get the money and they be like, I do what I want to, and they have that ego bolster them, and next thing you know, they 6 feet under. They don't even make it through college, or they don't make it through a first year of doing that. So, as an opportunity to be able to see two people right now, one who's actually, almost lost everything for trying it, and then you who have been never tried it and stayed to your moral compass and showing the example of what it can be like if people that are out there stick to that part of it, stick to that moral compass, stick to that decision to not tempt fate because some people have tried drugs and never been the same ever
Yep.
again. One time,
Yep.
and I'm so grateful that I remember when you called me one time and you were talking about, you're like, Dad, all this stuff is everywhere, about one drink. And we had talked
Yep.
about our and the role that it played in our lives. And you asked me about that, and it was a great opportunity for me to walk you through being able to make that choice for yourself. And then when you
Hmm.
did, it got in the way of your practice. You was like, no, this ain't
Yeah.
good for me. Done. And that was so powerful. So keeping
Yeah.
our dreams, keeping our goals paramount and number one at all times is probably that's the greatest fuel you can have to bolster your inspiration. So man, that was great. Another quick one. You're mentioning the stuff that that I'm already going. So like I said, this is just a talk, but I did want our audience
Yeah.
to be able to latch on to something, particularly if it's a question that they have in their mind. So I wanted to have that as an opportunity too. So the next one is how do you uh maintain your inspiration when so much is dependent on your physical health and your performance?
How do I ask that one more time? Let me make sure I got
Okay,
that.
we're inspired by our goals, by what we want to accomplish. But when
Right.
so much is dependent on our physical strength and our physical health, how do
Hmm.
you keep that going? Because that's a difficult thing to maintain your body, so you can facilitate that dream. It's like how do you do that? I mean, you said you're a gym rat. How do you stay in the gym every day? I mean, because that's work, man. Most people ain't trying to work out all the time.
Yeah.
So that's like a double inspiration. You got to be inspired to work out, and then the workout's got to fuel your inspiration for your basketball. How do
Hmm.
you do that?
I came across a quote not so long ago, and it described it perfectly. Uh,
Mhm.
it was I think it was from a coach. It's I don't care if you're motivated, but you have to be dedicated. So when you're going through life and you're going through your goals and you're trying to have, whatever you're trying to have. In my case, I was trying to play professional basketball. I was trying to get a college scholarship. So that's my goal. And the motivation, we all know motivation and inspiration, it comes in waves. It'll be there and it'll be high. It could be there for a week, 2 weeks, one day. It could be there for a year. But at some point, that motivation and inspiration is going to subside. And it's going to be up to you whether you are dedicated enough to that goal to keep doing that work, to understand
Mhm.
that, okay, I'm tired today, but if I do the work now, I'll get the rewards later. And this is one of the things that, as all athletes, anybody I believe who's very successful, um, dedicated, and I would even say more than dedicated, I would say discipline.
Mhm.
Uh, because like I said, like that inspiration, that motivation, it fades real quick. I'm in the middle of my
Mhm.
season right now, and we had a game not so long ago. We took the train ride before we had to fly. Now we're flying back, and we came back. I was at home for maybe 10 hours this week, and now I'm finally home, and I got finally another week stretch so I can be home. And you're on the road and you're on the bus or whatever, and you're like body's hurting, and you don't want to practice, but you remember, okay, I got a goal, right? First of all, you sign a contract with yourself and with the team and everything. So as long as you have that in mind, it's gonna help you to overcome those days when you're not feeling it. And I usually just have a checklist, like a small one, like, okay, today I'm gonna do 10 minutes of ball handling. And today I'm gonna shoot 50 shots, like at the bare minimum, if I don't want to do anything. And when I was younger, this is what I would do. Like, even if I would be in the gym and I would be exhausted sometimes I would be like, okay, let's bring it back a little bit. When I was younger, I would be in the gym from 10 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. And I would just walk to the gas station back and forth and get snacks. And so I would stay there and I would be exhausted and I would just be waiting. Okay, I know at 12 o'clock that these guys are coming in, so maybe I can play one-on-one. And I know at 3 o'clock this coach or this player is going to come in and maybe I can watch him and do something. And I know at 6 o'clock we're going to play 5-on-5, so now I can play. And then I know after 5-on-5 I can play one-on-one. And all of this happens, and the next day I'm in the gym again for the same amount of time, but I'm exhausted. So I'm like, okay, let me just do some form shots. Let me make 50. Okay, let me do this. Now at least I've done a small bare minimum, to help me get through. And that's my benchmark. And I use that benchmark today. I actually reinfused that benchmark, So now when I wake up in the morning, I do my stretches 5, 10 minutes. And now since I'm 35 now. So ever since I hit 35, I've been doing 35 push-ups every day in the morning and sometimes also at night. But in the morning, I do it every time. So just that little small bit is going to help me to have that longevity. And now I need to make sure that, it's going to help me with my basketball. It's going to help me with my overall health, with my heart, with everything. And it's a small thing that maybe doesn't have to do with anything in the future, any goal in particular, but because it's productive and because it's on the physical side, like it's actually helping me to be a better basketball player.
Wow. And that's the key, dedication. Because that can fuel you when the inspiration is down the tubes. Um, I know as people who build we build our own careers and it's such a beautiful thing to be able to be your own boss. However, it's a huge responsibility because now you have to literally manage your life in a way that is moving toward that goal. And you have the freedom. I mean, I can call a lunch, I can call a break, I can take a break whenever I'd like to. You can take a break whenever you want to. But if you don't build that extra little push for yourself, you know, it's competition. There's people out there that are doing it, and it's like now you're falling behind. And to get
Yeah.
back is harder than starting. Literally, to
That's
get
for
back
sure.
to a level. Oh yeah, it's harder than getting the inspiration to get up and go do it in the first place. Because you have to
Hmm.
now double up. You gotta get back to where you were, and then you got to get further than where you were in a record amount of time. And then whoever has filled that gap, you got to try to nudge them out of the way and be like, hey, look at
Yeah.
me, you know. But being disciplined in that arena, I know for myself, I do my own scheduling. I sometimes I push myself too hard, but I schedule myself. I make myself do the things that you were talking about. And that's the thing. So man, that was perfect. Perfect answer. And I know a lot of people out there, you might not be abreast of how to do it, but anything that's going to help, any little thing like Ray just said, that's going to help, whether it be diet, whether it be exercise, whether it be, quieting yourself and getting those messages of how you want to proceed and move forward. As long as you're fueling that dream, you're going to be okay. But when it starts falling off or something steps in the way and starts substituting for what you know you should be doing, you'll get that signal. You'll feel it and be
Yeah.
like, you might not want to go, and you might want to listen to that because you want to always stay on it. Like I said, my brother-in-law always tells us, be about it, and that always rings in my. If I'm about it, I'm gonna be about it. If I'm not, don't even waste nobody's time or your own
Yeah.
time. And that's really powerful. Um, I got a question. Have you ever felt like not playing?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Like,
Tell me about
let's say
that. Tell me about that.
not play a
Not playing
game,
basketball. Yeah,
like
not playing, just not playing
like
basketball.
okay, I don't want to play. I could say that I've felt like I didn't want to play a game, but I've never
Okay,
felt like I want to stop playing basketball.
right, right. But
Yeah.
even the game part, what happened? What happened with that?
Uh, to think about a specific time, I can go off of last season.
Uh-huh.
We lost 12 games in a row.
Oh,
I was shooting terrible. I
oh,
even went online. I made the mistake. I went online and I was checking, comments.
yeah,
And, you hear, oh, Ray's kind of old and, he's a foreigner. So we don't want to spend the money to have a foreigner that's old and that doesn't play defense and can't shoot and this and this and this. And I made my career from shooting. I shoot 40% from three.
right.
So to go from shooting 40% to be shooting 21 or 22% from three, uh, that was tough, So to have that and then to, have all of these outside voices kind of creeping into your head. And then on top of that, I don't really mind. I never minded the outside voices, but you compound that with the losing, with the city, the environment that you're in being terrible, and it makes you want to give up. It makes you want to be like, all right, maybe I should try to find something different.
Yeah,
But at that time, I knew that there was nothing different. I didn't have anything different. Basketball was the only thing that I had. I didn't I didn't start, what I've started now, my academy. I didn't start that yet. So I was in a place where I need to fix this, make it work, and find my joy for the game during it again. Because I knew that of course, I knew that I love basketball because I still would go to the gym by myself and go shoot and work out and listen to music and just be in the gym by myself and just have fun with it. So I knew that I still loved the game, but I just didn't love the situation or the environment.
mm, wow. I can identify. I don't know if I ever thought, I don't know if the thought ever came for me to stop playing, like you said. But I've had moments when I felt like I was inadequate to
Hmm.
play. So I wouldn't want to put myself in that position. And it happened one time when Art Porter was playing at a place. He was performing at a place called the Back Room. And he invited me to come down and play. And now he revered me in a way that I didn't think I deserved, because Art was one, in my mind, one of the best saxophone I ever heard. And he
Hmm.
invited me up on stage, and I declined to go. I wouldn't go on stage with him because I felt like I dwarfed him. In his ability and just his inspiration, his delivery, everything, technical, all of that, sound, tone, all of that. And I'm then sitting there learning from him, because that's what I always tried to do, learn from people who
Hmm.
I admire. And he invited me up. After the show, he came and he pulled me aside. He said, Ray, he said, don't ever not play if somebody offers you the opportunity, because this is not about competition. He said, this is about complementing. He said,
Hmm.
your style and what you bring has its own lane. You people appreciate that from that. What I bring does mine. He said, and we combine those as a complement of each other, not competing. And man, that made all the difference in my whole life, my whole career. Everything I did from that point on, I understood that fact that I'm not competing with nobody. Maybe myself
Yeah.
from a yesterday or a year ago, myself, I
Yeah.
will compete, but I don't have to. That's not necessary. So I never did that again. Every time I had an opportunity, when Kirk
Gotta
Whalum
go.
asked me to come up, I went, yeah, man, I got you. Come on, let's go.
Gotta
David
go.
Sanborn, same vibe. His band was, they were rehearsing before David got there. I went up and jammed with them. So you never turn those opportunities down, and because it's only going to fuel you and fuel those
Yeah.
times that you might feel like you don't want to, and you got that in your mind. No, no, I will always take that opportunity. But it happens, like you said, that
Yeah.
inspiration is going to slip away, and if you're not dedicated, yeah, you might
Hmm.
slip. I want to move into another area right now. I want to talk
Okay. I
about,
want to add on to it
mentioned
a little
your,
bit.
go
Can I
ahead, go
add on
ahead.
to what you just said? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So at the end, it's like, we talk about quitting or not playing or to stop doing something, right? There's a difference. So we talk about we don't want to stop, right? And everybody's like, oh, but what if I just change, if I do this and go this way or change my career? That's not a stop. You're making a pivot, right? And the thing about stopping and quitting is like, let's say you've been working on a goal for 5 years. You've been working for something and you just feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're the same place. Let's say if you're a basketball player, you've just been working, working, working. There's a time limit on being a basketball player, but there's not. Um, if you stop and you say like, all right, I'm gonna quit playing basketball. Now that's a finite thing. Like you're never gonna be able to do that. But if you're a content creator, or if you're a musician, or if you're an analyst, or if you're a psychologist, and you're just not getting the ground where you're getting to, and you put in all these years and you stop, you essentially just killed all of your momentum. You wasted the time that you had. You give yourself self-doubt about
Mhm.
who you are as a person, not about what you've been doing, but because you quit's one thing. And now you have this mindset that you're, like we said, like, oh, I don't feel adequate enough. And you give yourself this when you stop.
Mhm.
And so, like, you just have to keep pushing. It's okay to pivot, it's okay to change, but to stop doing something like altogether, unless if it's harmful for you, like let's say you're not getting any benefits from it, then okay, maybe you want to stop that. But most of the time, like if you're pushing towards a goal, something that means something to you, something that's prosperous, something that can help you or in your family or help others, like it's something to continue pursuing until you have 100% realized that this is not your purpose in life or this is not what you're supposed to go after. Because every time, what they always say, they got the guy that's digging for the gold. And when he stops, the gold is right behind. He only had one more swing left. And that's with
Hmm.
everything in life. So I would say don't stop because you worked all this way. You worked so hard and you pushed yourself to the max and you sacrificed this and you sacrificed that. Don't give that up. Like use that to keep going. And so that's all I'm gonna say,
Hmm.
like on that part.
Oh man, you getting in the feedback loop now. And we got that as a topic. That is that's my new mantra. Because we create things in our lives by our interpretation, by what we tell ourselves, and it manifests in our body, and then it goes out into our aura, and next thing you know, it becomes our reality because we're telling ourselves that message. And I'm gonna come up with the thing. As a matter of fact, it's gonna probably already air, but it's called adjusting the loop, adjusting
Yeah.
that feedback, changing that information that I'm telling myself. And sometimes you have to fight down those doubts and things because that's an
Hmm.
easy route. It's not easy to be afraid. It's easy to be doubtful. But when you take that challenge and you say, I'm going to adjust the way I think about it, and you help me with that as well, and think
Hmm.
about it in that way, now it starts to manifest inside you. Next thing you know, all of your reality is that. And that's the loop that people
Yeah.
don't know that we're learning about, and we're going to take
Yeah.
command. We're not victims. We're co-creators. We can create something in a moment. Speaking of which, you mentioned your academy. Man, my son, what you got going on? Tell me the name of your academy. Tell us information that we can have to contact, or if anybody wants to be a part of. I know it's in Poland, but
Yes.
everything is worldwide now. Everything is within the touch of a finger. Somebody can contact you and be on a plane and have their child dealing with that. Tell me about it.
All right. So the name is RC3 Hoops. That will be the official name. And right now we're starting off. It's a training company, but we're gonna branch off and I'm gonna help coaches. I'm gonna help young players. I'm gonna help professional players, everybody that wants to come through Poland and to work on their basketball skills. So this is the main thing. And we're basically gonna have a grand opening this summer. Uh, yeah, and there will be 4 big camps, and we will do all of this and create something special here in Poland. And it's going to be for the youth. There's going to be a lot of different subdivisions within this brand and within this company that will be able to help the youth. We'll be able to help professional players. We'll be able to help strength and conditioning. We're going to be able to connect a lot of different people within the basketball world. And I believe that Poland and Warsaw is Central Europe almost. It's pretty much in the center of everything. So you can easily get to here from everywhere, from France, from Spain, from to Greece, to Finland, to Czech Republic, everywhere. So there's a lot of opportunity here, and we're going to start that in Warsaw in the center this summer.
Awesome, man. So in the
Yeah.
developmental stages, do you have any contact information, any website information as of yet, or should we just follow your Instagram or your
Yeah,
your
you can just follow my Instagram. I will probably create another account. There will be an email address. We'll have a new website up. Everything will be coming within a month or two. Well, within a month, I can say. Yeah.
dynamite? Dynamite, man. Well, I put two questions in one because I know you're just like me. You're busy. But one of the most powerful things for me, Ray, is that I have diarrhea at the mouth sometimes because I'm full of information and my heart is
Yeah.
full and my desire to help and to give information and to share is a lot. But I'm learning to listen a lot more. But one of the greatest things that I learned in my life is that someone can tell me something and I might forget it. But if they show me, if I look at their
Hmm.
life and walk in the walk, I have a visual interpretation of what they're trying to say. And that's what I've tried to do with you and your sisters. And I want to walk the walk and show you guys um, how to deal with life, how to manage and navigate. And you talked about coming to a place where you change the trajectory of what you're doing. You don't quit, but you just adapt.
Hmm.
You adapt to another facet or another department of what you do, and you just keep it moving, keep it going.
Hmm.
And that's what I've had to do. Obviously, my injury took me to a place where my mobility is limited. But we could talk about the fact that you reached out and told me that you would not see me not be able to walk. And you, within, I think, 10 days, you had me a passport, you had me on a flight, and you
Mhm.
paid for my surgery, man. You gave me a brand new back. I don't know how many parents can say that their child would do that for them. And the love that we have, the understanding and the connection that we have is far beyond anything that people might even understand because it's all spiritual. I'm doing this platform because I know that the most important part of a person when you see them, you can't even see because the thing that brought them to you, the inspiration, what makes up their standards, what makes up their belief system, you can't see that. All you see is a
Yep.
shell, you know.
Yep.
And until they speak or until they walk the walk, you get to see them enact what's inside of them. But that's the
Hmm.
thing. Most important part of us, we can't see. And the most important part of this existence, we can't see. And that's why I know that it is all spiritual. And when I say spiritual, I know a lot of people, but it's esoteric. It's that thing that you can't see, but you know it exists because we're here. We have consciousness.
Yeah.
So I can't thank you enough. I've decided, and in everybody's interview, there's going to be a part two. We got to do a part two. We're going to have
Yeah.
a party on the 10th episode, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Okay.
Yeah, there will be a part two to everyone's interview because there's so much more to cover, and we want to talk about
Oh
where we
yeah.
are in that next phase. Ray, I can't do nothing but thank you enough. You are so much a part of this. You're my co-partner in this. And I'm looking to maybe open up and give you a room on the website because at the website there's different rooms. Each person has a room which they can feature their component of inspiration. We have videos, you have a blog, you have all these things, and I would love to give you that. You can keep people abreast on what your academy is doing and the development of
Yeah.
that, and it gives them that tangible thing because YouTube is one thing and it's mostly for
Oh yeah.
entertainment.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
watch it and you get the show, but to actually connect, to have a comment section, to question, that's what we're launching today. And man, I'm so
Amazing.
grateful. Yeah, we're working on it, man. We're trying to do it. I'm trying to be like you.
Nah, nah, nah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You don't see the relationship that I have with my son, but the fact that he is an embodiment of everything that we're talking about, being inspired, never giving up, knowing that you can find that spark inside yourself and, pay into it. The rewards are limitless and they're very powerful. So, Ray, I can't, I feel like saying thank you. It's too formal. I mean, we'll talk when, we'll talk
Yeah. No,
in a
I
minute.
get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
But y'all, go check out the website. It is called letsgetinthepaint.com. It is a domain, so you can be assured that whatever you share there with us or whatever comments you make is going to definitely be protected. So it's a way for you to interact with us and let us know if you have any questions, if you have any children that might be wanting to get into sports or music or, any facet of the entertainment business or even business, because my next interview is going to definitely shine some light on those aspects. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Oh my God.